Hello everybody, Phil Snyder here, GunClassUtah.com. Hey, I've got another great video for you on self-defense. June 14th, 2025, we had a No Kings protest here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and that was on a Saturday, I believe. There's a group called the 50501. They organized this No Kings protest here in Salt Lake City. My understanding is that they do this nationwide. Are these the people that are funding all of these protests all over the country? Who knows? Anyway, so a couple of days, it was either a day or two prior to the protest on Saturday, June 14th, Utah Governor Spencer Cox actually put out a tweet on Twitter encouraging everybody to protest here in Salt Lake City. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is he doing? Did he not learn anything from the 2020 riot in Salt Lake City? But, you know, out of all fairness to the governor, he probably thought that maybe he was de-escalating a tense situation that was going on across the country and, you know, basically saying, hey, you know, we welcome you to come here and protest, but, you know, and he made it clear that it has to be peaceful. So anyway, for those of you that have not been following, basically what happened was, my understanding from the news sources is it was mostly peaceful until there were a couple of safety volunteers that were hired by the protest organizer that spotted what they thought was a threat. And so the early reports is that one of the peacekeepers noticed the suspect, Arturo Gamboa, age 24, go behind a fence, and he took a rifle out of a backpack, and then he ran into a crowd. And according to the early accounts of the peacekeeper, this suspect, Gamboa, raised a rifle in a firing position towards a crowd. And the peacekeeper fired 3 rounds, one grazing the suspect and the other rounds killing an innocent bystander. And that victim, innocent bystander's name was Arthur Loo, L-O-O. And so what they did was the police booked the suspect, Mr. Gamboa, into jail on murder charges. Even though he didn't fire a single round, they booked him in the jail for the murder. Now, it is Wednesday. Actually, it is Thursday. I'm not sure if Mr. Gamboa has gotten released from jail or not, but typically when somebody's booked in jail, the state has 3 days, 72 hours to file official charges or some sort of an extension in order for them to be held. My guess is going to be, just based on 30 years of law enforcement training and experience that I have, Mr. Gamboa is not going to be charged with anything because he didn't fire anything from his weapon. And so that seems to me like it's a no-brainer. And anyway, it is what it is. So far to this day, it's June 19th, so this is, 5 days later. The police have not formally charged or identified this peacekeeper who the 50501 organization claimed they hired him because he had military experience. But nobody has filed any charges on them. My understanding, the police said that he's been cooperating in interviews. Anyway, just so everybody knows, the military, if it's standard military, they don't really have a lot of training with a handgun. In fact, you know, my basic pistol classes, I've had people from the military take them that are retired, and they tell me that my pistol courses are way more involved than what they received on a, you know, just as from basic training, handgun training. Doesn't sound like it's a lot at all. So, and special forces, I'm sure that's different. They probably had a lot of training, but a lot of people don't know that. Anyway, so let's just do a quick legal analysis of this situation, okay? Number one, it is not unlawful to open carry a rifle in public or a handgun. That's what this Mr. Gamboa was doing that day. If we look back to 2020 when we had the George Floyd riots all over the place in Salt Lake County, we had numerous people carrying open carry AR-15 rifles wandering around everywhere. I mean, everybody knows that. The law hasn't changed since then. And so, number one, Mr. Gamboa was probably lawfully present when he had this rifle. I don't have any news to the contrary. It is completely legal to carry that. Now, the only question is going to be if the Peacekeeper is going to be justified. He is going to have to articulate that Mr. Gamboa either made some sort of an attempt to cause bodily injury, or he makes a threat accompanied by a show of immediate force. Now, because a rifle was used, that would constitute, if that could be proven, a forcible felony, and the law would allow the Peacekeeper to use deadly force to prevent the commission of that forcible felony, which would be an aggravated assault, okay? And so I'm going to speculate that this Peacekeeper, and probably told the police when he was being interviewed, that Mr. Gamboa raised the rifle at a firing position at the crowd, which would certainly justify that under either an attempt to hurt people or making a threat accompanied by a show of immediate force, raising that rifle up. Probably why they said it. But today I read a news article that there was another person that sent in a video footage of another angle, and it shows Mr. Gamboa running away as these two Peacekeepers ordered him to drop the weapon. But it clearly shows that the rifle is in a lowered position. And so this Peacekeeper, who the police are not identifying right now, I would say he's on the hook. He is going to be liable for criminal and civil charges for civil lawsuit. He's not justified, in my opinion. Now, I know this is early, and I hate to Monday morning quarterback things, because the police, that was something that was annoying. We would have shootings, and somebody would be quarterbacking. This is a training tool, and this is only based on what has been in the news sources. Obviously, this Peacekeeper needs time. The police need time to look at all the camera footage, interview people. Obviously, there is a lot to go. And so this video and analysis is being done a little prematurely, but it's based on what we know from the news. But it doesn't look good, because there's a video now that's showing that he ran away in this rifle pointed down at a low ready. And that is not unlawful to do. So my guess is going to be, because they're not mentioning who this Peacekeeper is, I'm going to guess that the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office is not going to file any charges against this Peacekeeper for killing an innocent bystander. Now, they're probably going to say that there's insufficient evidence to charge him or something along that line. Sometimes DAs will not charge people because they don't feel like there's a good likelihood of success at a trial. And, if there was a charge, it would probably be like a manslaughter or a negligent homicide charge. It's not going to be murder, because the intended, or the victim in this case, was not the intended person that they were shooting. Now, the other thing that we have to look at is, why was this innocent bystander struck by a bullet? I can only think of two situations. Number one, this military guy didn't have adequate training on a firearm, which is very possible. Rifles, yes, they have plenty of training on a rifle because that's their primary weapon. So if he was just standard enlisted military and received handgun training through basic training, it's nothing to be impressed of. They shoot at these big, huge you know, human silhouette targets, and there's really not much of a standard there. Number two, what kind of ammunition? Is it possible that this Peacekeeper had full metal jacket ammunition, which tends to over-penetrate, versus a hollow point? A hollow point is a safer option when you are firing your weapon in a public space and you've got other people around. So I would really be curious what kind of ammunition was in their handguns. Because if it was full metal jacket, it could have easily went through this person and into an unintended target. Here's the other thing. If you're firing into a crowd like that, you got all these people everywhere, it violates basic safety rules. The fourth safety rule I talk about in my concealed carry classes is know your target and what is beyond. So if you're going to be a hero and you're going to intervene in a situation you feel like just deadly force is justified, that is honorable to do that. But at the end of the day, if you hit an unintended person, or if you don't make the right call, you can be sued. And in fact, if my family member was struck in this case, if this Peacekeeper struck my son, for example, minding his own business, I'd sue the hell out of that Peacekeeper. You know what? I'd also sue the 50501 group that organized the protest. I'd go after the deep pockets. Peacekeeper probably doesn't have a lot of money, but go after the organization. I'm sure sounds like they got plenty of money. They're funding protests all around the United States. So, that's my take. Please comment in the comments and tell me if you think that this Peacekeeper should be criminally or civilly charged or not. What do you think? Thanks for watching.